The true history of mankind has been quite the story. What an interesting history we share. And now we're on the final pages of the Bible. This great book is coming to an end. And the best part is, Jesus is coming back. Jesus told us we would know the season of his return, and it appears we're in that season. All the chess pieces are being put into place. Jesus said he would return as it was in the days of Noah, which begs the question, are we living in the days of Noah? Respectively, we can consider evidence that suggests we are. Like fornication, adultery, homosexuality, theft, lying, cheating, stealing, jealousy, anger and rage are common, and murder, rape and paedophilia and incest are not uncommon. When I first went to the red light district in Amsterdam some 25 years ago, I remember thinking it was like civilized Sodom and Gomorrah. It was a sanitized version of how I imagined that period would be, when people simply helped themselves to others because they could. In Thailand, pedos order what kids they want off a menu. Infants and children are food for demons. People are evidently possessed by demons on a massive scale. The spiritual doors are all wide open.
When you walk in the red light district, there are plenty of scantily clad girls who will parade themselves in these windows right here, with bright red lights on top of them, hence the phrase red light district. The price on average is roughly €100, which includes the following. The duration is roughly 20 minutes, although prices and times are negotiable of course. If you want optional extras, it's roughly €50 per extra, depending on the girl and the option. If you're interested in women with something special between their legs, go to the blue light district, which are these streets in Devalen, and look for the windows with neon blue lights. That's how you can tell if they're trans or not.
Sin is normalized, like watching porn is normal, and no one cares about abortions. Murdering babies in the womb is kosher. And the sheeple love their astrology. Young people especially seem to enjoy asking each other what their star signs are, like it's exciting or interesting. And the sheeple love their tarot cards and frequenting psychics and mediums, and they love their Reiki and their crystals and their yoga and their manifestation. And there has been an explosion in witchcraft. People are increasingly partial to engaging with the demonic, which includes ingesting ayahuasca and DMT. People prefer pantheism or panentheism as opposed to theism. They like their New Age theology, which claims we're all one, as Serpentine Mother Ayahuasca insists, and the serpent spirit in Eastern philosophies. The explosion in mental health problems, addictions and deviancy corresponds to an increase in demonic activity, and narcissism appears to be off the charts. Every other person is a narcissist these days. It's insane. It's to cut to the chase then, it appears we are living in the days of Noah. No one cares about Yahweh and people love their sin. I'm not sure if people continually think wicked thoughts. Unlike the antediluvian world, however, there is hope for us. Jesus is our hope. He came for everyone, but it appears the sheeple don't care. Satan has blinded their minds to the truth of Jesus, and he has them where he wants them, which is separated from God. Our sin separates us from God. And Satan's seed continues to thrive. It's purported that 1% of the 1% that rule we, the 99%, are the royal satanic bloodline. There are apparently 13 Illuminati families, which includes the Rothschilds and the British royal family. According to Fiona Barnett, who was subjected to satanic ritual abuse and mind control, and who blew the whistle on their satanic antics, these families are seen as demigods. Satan's family operates like a caste system with different degrees of pedigree and specialities. Below Satan's elect are 300 sub-important Illuminati families who generally have high IQ, and below them are the coven scum, which includes witches who are used for breeders to provide sacrifices. They can never attain higher status because they lack the desired bloodline. The Illuminati is a family affair. Like Satan's seed, the secret snake brotherhood that was reborn in Babylon with Nimrod is also thriving today. The mystery schools that harboured the secret arts became secret societies. One must be initiated into the mysteries, and only the inner circle are privy to what's really going on. For example, in Freemasonry, lower level members are led to believe, deceived to believe, that they're worshipping God, whereas those in the upper echelons know that their God is Lucifer. Secret societies are spirit worshipping societies, and they're all connected at their core because Satan is their father. He is the spider in the satanic web. Satanists operate on a global scale. Satan has his people everywhere, but especially in positions of power. Cain's son Enoch, who liaised with the Watchers to create sun-worshipping mysticism, is the hero in Freemasonry. This evil Enoch is not to be confused with good Enoch, who was Noah's great-grandfather from Seth's line, who God took because he was so awesome. Evil Enoch was the first master mason in the antediluvian world, and he's credited with building the cities at that time. Enoch means one who is initiated. Evil Enoch drowned in the flood, together with the rest of humanity, but his Enochian magic survived. In the antediluvian world, the sun god was identified as Saturn, as opposed to the sun. Saturn is the old sun, or black sun, which spawned all the other stars and suns in the universe. This contradicts what the Bible states, that God created the sun, moon, and stars are not suns. It said Saturn and the sun are the same one God, as Saturn is the sun's alter ego, or its star. Saturn and the sun are two sides of the same Gnostic coin, which equates to Satan and Lucifer, lead and gold, light and dark, and yin and yang. Lucifer is the serpent who offers gnosis, just as he did in the garden. Satan's religion is Illuminism. It's the same light behind all esoteric religion. The initiations into Freemasonry are identical to the ancient Egyptian rituals, which centres on the worship of the sun. The Egyptian version of Nimrod, Semiramis and Tammuz is Osiris, Isis and Horus. Thus, Osiris is a sun god who was chopped up into 14 pieces by his evil brother Seth and was scattered across the kingdom. His wife and twin sister Isis found 13 pieces, but his manhood was missing, so she fashioned a golden phallus. Osiris temporarily came back to life to impregnate Isis with Horus, and then he retreated back to the underworld. Thus, Horus was the son of the sun god. Osiris and Horus are the same one god. Horus avenged his father's death by killing his evil uncle Seth, and during one of their many battles, Horus lost an eye. Thus, Horus is known as the one-eyed sun god, who Freemasons and all those in the club, including the elites, demonstrate their allegiance to by the covering of one eye. Horus, or Satan, is the all-seeing eye that watches over us like evil big brother. The eye of providence also represents the third eye of illumination or enlightenment. Lucifer illuminates people with his false light. We can see the evidence of Freemasonic reverence for the sun god Osiris everywhere, like monuments of his manhood, obelisks, are found everywhere. It's a shocker. Here's two obelisks in my city, which are both made in pink granite. Freemasonry is a sex cult that worships the phallus. Freemasonry also centres on Hiram Abiff, who we hear about in the Bible. He collaborated with King Solomon and King Hiram of Tyre to build the first Jewish temple. Hiram Abiff, who was also from pagan Tyre, is presented as the chief architect, and according to Freemasons, these three individuals instituted the degrees of Freemasonry. Secrets are encoded within buildings in addition to rituals. Hiram Abiff was subsequently killed by three scoundrels because he refused to impart the secret sauce. He died for the sake of the brotherhood and the preservation of their wisdom. Solomon is revered in the occult world as a master magician. It seems Solomon, who was renowned as the wisest man in the world, was familiar with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He knew the deep secrets. It's believed the Knights Templars discovered this knowledge, the Holy Grail, which they passed on to their superiors at the Roman Catholic Church. The Knights Templars were then brought down by King Philip IV of France in 1307 for their idolatry, their homosexuality and their witchcraft. The Templars, however, did a shoot, together with their vast amounts of wealth, to other countries, including Scotland, where they re-emerged a couple of centuries later as Freemasons. As highlighted in another video, the Jesuits were behind the creation of the degrees in Freemasonry. They equally worship Baphomet, like the Islamic assassins. The Freemasons are also linked together with the Rosicrucians and the Illuminati and intelligence agencies and the royal families. Satan's empire is all interconnected. Satanist plans are ironed out in secret societies, which are then materialised through politics and economics and so forth, like via the World Economic Forum and the Council on Foreign Relations, the Club of Rome and the United Nations. Satan and his fallen angels dictate the plans of Satan to his family and his agents here on earth, which consists of presidents and top CEOs and so forth, who then execute these plans. We hear about it on the news. We watch Satan's plans happen in real time, like the Islamic takeover of the West. It's understood the Islamic head choppers play a pivotal role in the end times carnage, in conjunction with the 7 Noahide laws. These ethical and moral principles that God allegedly imparted to Noah for all of humanity have been officially acknowledged by several countries, including the US and Australia. Respectively, decapitation is sanctioned for capital crimes, which could include not worshipping the beast when the time comes. Satan is behind the wars and destruction to further his agenda, and his family cashes in on the bloodshed. It's win-win for the dark side. The ancient plan is to have a one-world beast system in place reminiscent of Babylon for the arrival of the Antichrist, who will rule as God from the third Jewish temple in Jerusalem. The Antichrist will be like Nimrod reincarnated, or Nimrod II. He will be the man with the plan to solve all the world's problems. He'll be like Superman, saving the day and turning the chaos into order. He will insist that the world unites and lives as one in peace and safety. And there is no need for religious discord because there is only one God, as Freemasons claim and as Pope Francis insisted. The UN is positioned to be the world government and their religion is Luciferianism. And the third temple is at the ready, everything is in place, and the Jews are simply waiting for the green light to build it.
If you don't think that the third temple is being built or is already built right now, I have some news for you. There is already the infrastructure in place to support a very rapid prefab, and they're already putting everything in place right now. Check this out. I live in Jerusalem, and I'm going to show you right now that it is happening. And in fact, what you see here is a chairlift that they are putting in to the old city in Jerusalem. It's going to look like this. They're building a whole building. It's called the Kotel Elevator. They're building a whole building to take people, see that? They're building a chairlift to take people up to the Temple Mount when the temple, the third temple, is there. And so they have this whole area under construction. I've been here for like a year. They've had a wall there. You can hear the jackhammering during the day. They're ready right here. And then we also have this development. They made road signs that say Harbat Hashem, which means the house of God. Like, they're directing people to the third temple already. Like, they've already got the signs up. You can see like the Jerusalem sign above it, and then Bet El above that. Like, so this is on the road. I think this is the road to the Dead Sea. So they're already putting all this stuff in place. There's already Jews going up to the Temple Mount and praying, and this has become like a regular thing. And there's also like an institute where it's right across from the chairlift I just showed you, where they have all the stuff for the temple already, like that goes inside the temple that they use to perform all the rituals from Leviticus. Accept Jesus because he's coming back and he is not going to be the one that sits in this temple. Read Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 9. It is not going to be the Messiah who sits in this temple. It's going to be the Antichrist. So do not worship the dude who goes to this temple. Accept Jesus into your heart because time is running out, y'all.
The Bible tells us everyone will worship the beast, and his sidekick, the false prophet, who performs satanically inspired signs and wonders, forces everyone to take the beast's mark. All citizens of the world must take the mark of the beast, or they cannot buy or sell. The beast system uses a global digital system and currency, and we are all connected to the beast system through our digital identities. We'll all be connected to the internet as one hive mind. The technology that's contained in smartphones will be built into us. It's rumoured that tall white aliens gave us smartphones, that technology, and we'll be forced to worship the image of the beast. It seems Satan achieved some kind of omnipresence through technology. It seems demons can use technologies, including AI. There will be no escape from the beast system. But moreover, once someone takes the mark of the beast, it's game over. They're no longer redeemable. One is past the point of no return. It's like you can't undo taking vaccines once they're in your system. It's believed the beast's mark changes our DNA. Humans will no longer be fully human, but transhuman. And Jesus died for humankind, not Nephilim. God made humans in his image, and Satan wants to re-engineer us into his image. He wants us to become a mighty one like Nimrod, a superman or God-man, both spiritually and genetically. The other defining feature of the days of Noah were the Nephilim, which begs the question, are the Nephilim here today, beyond the infernal royal families? It's purported there's a breeding program been taking place for decades, which ties into the alien deception. It's believed Satan has been up to his old tricks again, mingling the seed of aliens, well, fallen angels, but they're now called aliens, with women. It's believed the black-eyed kids are their offspring. It's purported that tall white aliens and hybrids live amongst us. And it's also alleged that giants are being harboured in deep underground military bases. Satan is building his army to take on God in the Battle of Armageddon. It's further alleged that other grotesque hybrid creatures are being created and harboured in deep underground military bases. Apparently there's a level called the Zoo, which contains these genetic violations. One of the saddest stories I heard was when a whistleblower who witnessed these abominations advised that the human part of the creature said, "Help me." We have no idea what's literally below our feet. The underground, the high-speed trains and networks, the bases, supplies, the experiments, the breeders, and the hybrid and human prisoners. It's believed aliens are harboured in deep underground military bases, and there could be aliens at the bases at Antarctica, which apparently harbour UFOs. While so-called aliens are angels and demons, they could also be hybrids that have been created to provide hosts for demonic spirits. Thus, it's possible the Nephilim have returned, and we are indeed living in the days of Noah. Not everyone is fully human. Like angels can present as humans, and it's alleged that Satan's seed can shapeshift into reptilians, like shapeshifting reptilians that are rumoured to be at Salt Lake Temple in Utah, which is allegedly embroiled with satanic ritual abuse and mind control. And shamans and witches can shapeshift. They get supernatural powers from human sacrifices. And there are werewolves and vampires. I sometimes wonder how accurate the Twilight movies are.
Bella!
Run! Jake, run!
And there's demon possession, as evidenced by black eyes and reptilian eyes. I recently heard a girl's testimony, and she explained how her vision narrowed, and it was like she was looking out of two slits during her Kundalini awakening. And I was thinking, how weird would that be? In summary, history repeats itself. As Solomon said in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, "What has been will be again, what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." The Bible has told us everything we need to know, from our creation to our destruction. It appears the days of Noah have come full circle, which speaks to the circle of life. Myriad other signs that evidence that we're living in the last days include wars and rumours of wars, insane weather, including earthquakes and famines, the explosion in knowledge and technology, extensive travel, inflation and economic meltdown, cosmic disturbances in the sun, moon and stars, and our love for each other appears to be growing colder every day. It's an interesting time to be alive, to feature in the finale. And we know God wins. Jesus is the winning team. Mankind's choice has always been to be for God or against God. As Joshua said, "Then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve." And Elijah echoed this proposition, stating, "How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him." That's in 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. Jesus is knocking at your door, and it's your call to invite him in for supper. And I suggest that you do, as time is running out. And it appears that time is speeding up, but that's a conversation for a rainy day.